Hi guys, it's Kaylee Gunner and you're watching Bay Area Sports Wrap.
Pressure, Mahomes senses it, steps away, gets around Fred Warner. Oh, what a run. Now dances for a foul. He's still in bounds. Patrick Mahomes racing to the end zone and he's out of bounds.
Good evening from the Shark Tank. Alongside Ryan Leong, I am Marko Ukalovic. Welcome to Bay Area Sports Wrap's 49er recap today. The 49ers went down to the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs 28-18 at Levi Stadium this afternoon. It was not a pretty sight to see, especially if you're a San Francisco 49ers fan. The Niners did not play well at all from really all three standpoints, from offensive, defense, and special teams. Kansas City as well did not play that great either. In fact, I believe they gave the 49ers defense gave Patrick Mahomes his worst QB rating of 44.4 in the history of his career. So it just goes to show you like how kind of sloppy this game was played today out there. And the Niners had turnovers, and the Niners also had more injuries. You had Deebo Samuel, who got sick, tried to go out there for warm-ups, wasn't able to play. And then the biggest one of all, Brandon Ayuk, which now they're fearing this is a season-ending ACL injury, Ryan. And
Birdie over the middle. Good catch by Ayuk. He's inside the 15.
Wow, can this team just get any more injured in this season here?
No, I agree. And hey, what's up with all that noise in the background? Hey, shut up down there. Oh, just kidding. A bunch of kids playing hockey.
Yeah, isn't it way past their bedtime? It's like 9 o'clock right now.
We're just having fun. Anyway, Marko had some other responsibilities. That's why we decided to have the recap here at SAP Center at the Shark Tank. And hey, why the heck not, right?
Exactly.
Pretty cool. By the way, for those of you watching wondering where we're at, this is actually the area that Randy Hahn broadcast the Sharks games from. So this is called the pit, the broadcast pit. And this is actually on the first row of the upper level at the Shark Tank, which is probably one of the best vantage points to watch hockey. If I step out of the shot real quick here, you can see you got a really clear shot of the ice. Anyway, so yeah, this was a horrible game for the Niners, Marko. It was awful watching these guys. I mean, I almost wanted to gouge my eyes out. It's like watching the Raiders back in the day when when they were coached by who was the guy in the mid 2000s, offensive coordinator? Norv Turner. It's like watching a Norv Turner game. It was really bad. Brock Purdy had, I think, probably one of the worst games of his career, if not the worst game. I think his quarterback rating was like 30-something.
Yeah.
Just a bad game all the way around. The Niners just had plenty of opportunity, too. The one bright spot was seeing Ricky Pearsall make his return. I mean, the guy got shot only 50 days ago, and he comes back and he plays. He has a couple catches. He spoke
right on the ball.
Still a two-possession game here. So coming near side, Pearsall's got the catch, and he's inbounds at the 40.
He spoke to the media in the interview room, which shows the importance of his interview, because usually a lot of times a player of his stature would just be in the locker room talking. But when you have a situation like that, you know, interview room was the place to be, and all the media assembled to talk to him there. I did not, because I was, working Sirius XM, so I had to get a phone guest for them, and was able to get some video that we have on BayAreaSportsWrap.com and on YouTube of McCole Hardman. I'll tell you right now, Marko, the Chiefs, they're a hard team to dislike, though. I'll tell you, they're very professionally run. Their PR staff, by the way, is top-notch. And their reporters are also very polite. So it was a really good experience being in their locker room. I can see why people are Chiefs fans, even though I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan. I kind of couldn't care less about Travis Kelce, but they are definitely America's team. There's no question about it. And they're the poster child for the NFL. That's what the NFL is trying to sell, and you can see why.
Yeah, and look, it just became apparent that Andy Reid once again outcoached Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
And I think not only is Shanahan, but the rest of the team, I think, have the Kansas City and that Super Bowl in their head still. And it's just like they can't escape out of that shadow. And so Kyle Shanahan still has not beat Andy Reid as the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. And you look at what Kansas City did today. They proved why they are the Super Bowl champs. They didn't play a great game. They weren't that stellar. Patrick Mahomes was not good at quarterback today. He threw a couple interceptions. But yet, they still found a way to get the job done, and what they did is they ran the ball. Something they weren't able to do, especially against a Niners defense that's very staunch against the run. And they were able to take control, win the battle of the trenches in that second half, get time off that clock and then get the points when they need it. And then it got to the point when once they got up 28-12, that was it. It was a ball game.
Yeah. And was it Kareem Hunt? Yeah.
Kareem Hunt, yeah.
Kareem Hunt was not the usual, but he still had, like, I think at one point he only had, like, was it 10 carries for 30 yards, but he had 2 touchdown runs. Patrick Mahomes had that one run where he ran for like 30 yards. I mean, they still got, when they needed to make a big play, they made plays. And it's so cliche, but that's why we ever hear football players talk about who made more plays. That's the definition of it. They made plays when they had to, and the Niners simply did not. And I think on third down conversion, the Niners were like 1 of 11, I believe. It was a really awful. I mean, they also were outgained on time of possession too. So the interesting thing though is that total net yards were pretty similar, but the Niners just simply didn't do very much when they had the chances in the red zone. They just didn't do anything. And then. Was it Mitch Wishnowsky? I think he tried. He really pooched an extra point horribly. I mean, I know I was listening to Niners radio, and Tim Ryan was pretty disgusted. I even saw Greg Papa briefly after coming up from the locker room where we get our post-game beer, and he just gave me this like really dour look. So yeah.
And it is like that after they suffered this loss because this was supposed to be a measure. They're not the best offensive player of the year, Christian McCaffrey. You do not know his timetable when he's coming back. This Achilles injury is really as serious as it can get. So they have no clue when he's coming back. And you add on top of that Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. And now you have a couple of rookies as the wide receivers, and John Jennings was out with his knee injury. So they really need to start running the ball here, and they need to use Jordan Mason more effectively. He was a little banged up too. He was questionable going into this game. He still played, and I think he had a couple good runs in that second half that really could have got the Niners really changing the momentum of that game, but they stayed away from it. I don't know what Kyle Shanahan was calling because all those passing plays, Brock Purdy did not have the time to throw the ball. He was getting rushed and they forced those interceptions. Okay, he could say, "Oh, it was all on me that I need to play better," but a quarterback can only do so much when he's only getting less than 2 seconds of protection to throw the ball. And he was not getting more than that. And you saw how it affected him. And I'm sorry, when you get hit like that, it's going to affect the way you play, and it definitely affected Brock Purdy today.
Yeah, and the Niners even had a chance, I think, right before halftime to at least try to score a touchdown. And I think they ended up settling for a field goal. And I know for sure, even Niners radio, and of course you're talking about team broadcasters who are trying to basically be supportive of the home team. They even admitted, too, that Kyle Shanahan was not doing a very good job of managing the clock and even just his play calling. So this team is really in disarray, and yet they don't have any time to recover. They've got another game next Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys, nationally televised on NBC. The Niners obviously are still in a position. I think Seattle lost today, didn't they?
No, actually they won.
They won. Okay.
They defeated Green Bay. No, I'm sorry. They played Atlanta. They defeated Atlanta today down there in Atlanta, and I think it was like a 33-20 game. They really their defense dominated. Kirk Cousins and that Atlanta offense. They didn't let Bijan Robinson really do anything in that game. So they rebounded after a couple tough losses that Seattle had faced after starting 3-0. But still, even with that said, if the Niners can just get a little bit healthy here and stop having guys drop game by game, they still have a chance to win this division in the NFC West. It's not a tough division, okay? The Rams barely beat the Raiders today, okay? And Arizona, they play tomorrow, but they have not proven anything that they're a quality team.
Right.
So despite the Niners playing horrid today, and the fact that they got a Cowboys team that's playing just as bad.
Yeah.
And this could be a remedy for them next Sunday night, national TV game, as you mentioned, on Sunday Night Football, NBC. This is a chance for them to right the ship here, but I think the panic mode almost has to start setting in now, though, for this team.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And I'll tell you an old John Madden quote: "Winning is the best deodorant." The Niners stink right now, and winning will cure a lot of that. So I think if they play next week against Dallas, and they get a bye week, I believe.
Yes.
So it's just a must win for the Niners. I mean, I know there's no such thing as a must win until you are mathematically eliminated. But when you're playing in the National Football League, you only have 17 regular season games. You got to make every one of them count. And the Niners, really, I covered Super Bowl 50, was it 54, I guess was the last name? I can't remember all the numbers. But anyway, when they played the Chiefs, the Niners beat themselves in that game. They beat themselves today as well. I mean, the Chiefs, no question, they're definitely deserving Super Bowl champions, but they also know, like I said, how to make plays. The Niners simply just need to learn. They need to learn how to step up to the occasion, because Kyle Shanahan is now 0-5 against the Chiefs. And another stat, in the last 10 Super Bowl rematches, the winner is now 7-3 in that stat. So, you know, the bottom line is this Niners team is wounded. They're battered, and they just need to figure out a way to get it done. And I don't know what's gonna get it done for them, because it still falls on the players. But Kyle Shanahan, his honeymoon period is over with this team. Okay, yeah. I think a lot of fans are pretty fed up with him, and they want to start seeing some results.
And I think if he doesn't get those results and doesn't turn this ship around and get this team into the playoffs, this could be Kyle Shanahan's last season as the head coach of the 49ers. I don't think that's so far-fetched to say that, because like he said, you know, he's had 2 times now to win the Super Bowl, and lost both times to Kansas City. And I know they're dealing with injuries, and I know that this is now a young team as far as who's available, but a lot of his game management's been bad this season, and I don't think John Lynch will be able to put up with that. I think if they can't turn this thing around and get to the playoffs again.
Oh, my own editor's note. I keep forgetting the Niners have had 3 kickers in the last 3 games, so it's actually Anders Carlson who pooched that extra point and screwed that up.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So yeah. But anyway, I know Wisnowski. Oh, I know what was embarrassing for him. He couldn't even do the onside kick. I think he kicked the onside kick about 4 yards.
That's right.
Which is truly embarrassing. That's how we're going to end this recap. That's how bad this game was to watch. If you're a glutton for punishment and you want to see something that's going to make you just want to, I don't know, hurl or make yourself sick, watch the Niners highlights from this game against the Chiefs.
Yeah, and if you're a fan, just forget about this game and worry about the Cowboys coming in to Levi Stadium next Sunday night. 5:20 is the start, and on NBC, it should be hopefully a good game to watch. And I think hopefully the Niners can turn this thing around, at least against a very bad Cowboys team right now.
Yeah, and if we have a chance, I guess maybe we'll try to do a recap, but it'll be different because Marko's going to be at the Golden State Warriors season opener, and I will be at the Niners game, so we might be doing a Zoom recap.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. Yeah, we might. And if that's the case, stay tuned for that. So, for Ryan Leong, Marko Ukalovic, keep checking us out. Like and subscribe to our YouTube page.
We'll see you next time.
You're watching me, but you need to be watching Bay Area Sports Wrap. Bay Area Sports Wrap on YouTube. Like and subscribe, and there's a good chance you might get to heaven.